Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update on rare coins, valuable pennies, and everything in between. Today, we've got a truly exciting topic at the 1979 Lincoln penny. This coin is one you definitely want to pay attention to, because it could be worth far more than just 1 cent. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive in. Rarest coins. When we talk about valuable pennies, it's easy to think of older coins, like the 1909 SVDB or the 1955 doubled die, but believe it or not, a 1979 Lincoln penny could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. Now, let's break this down. You might be thinking, it's just a penny from 1979, why is this coin worth anything? Well, the value of a 1979 penny largely depends on one key factor, a rare minting error that occurred during production. But before we get into that, let's talk a little about the basics. Rarest coins. The 1979 Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint. That's the D you will see on the coin. This penny is made of copper-plated ink, just like most pennies produced after 1982. And its design is the classic Lincoln memorial on the reverse. But, for the majority of those coins, their value doesn't go much beyond face value at just 1 cent. So, what makes a 1979 penny worth a lot of money? The real excitement comes from a rare minting error known as the wide D mint mark. This error occurs when the mint mark, the small d representing the Denver Mint, is stamped onto the penny with a noticeable spacing between the two sides of the letter. In other words, the D is much wider than what you'd typically expect. On a normal 1979 penny, the mint mark looks fairly close together, but on a coin with this error, the D will appear unusually spaced out, almost like two distinct halves of the letter. It's an easy feature to spot once you know what to look for. So, how can you spot the 1979 wide D mint mark? First, take a look at the mint mark itself. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe if you need help with the details. If the D looks too wide, with noticeable gaps between the left and right sides, congratulations, you've got a rare find. Now, how much is this error coin worth? It depends on the condition, but in general, a 1979 wide D penny in uncirculated condition can sell for anywhere from $300 to $1,000 or more. If you have one in mint condition, it could even go for higher prices at auction, especially if it's graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Rarest coins. Okay, but let's talk about how to actually check your pennies for this error. First, take a look at the condition of the coin. If it's worn down or heavily damaged, it's likely not worth much, even if it has the wide D. But if it's in decent condition or uncirculated, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. Remember, grading is key. The better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it is. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. A higher grade means a higher price. Coins in mint condition with no scratches, discoloration, or wear will fetch the highest prices. Alright, here's something else to keep in mind. You don't have to be a professional to spot these errors. You just need to take your time, be patient, and look carefully at your pennies. You can also use a coin magnifier to help zoom in on the mint mark. Once you find a 1979 penny with the wide D mint mark, what do you do with it? You can sell it through online auction sites like eBay, take it to a coin dealer, or even get it graded by a professional service before selling it for top dollar. But the wide D minutes. Hey, coin collectors and curious viewers, if you've ever wondered rarest coins, if that 1967 Lincoln penny you have in your collection or spare change could be worth more than just 1 cent, you're in the right place. In today's video, we'll explore why the 1967 Lincoln penny is a hidden gem for collectors, how to identify valuable versions, and what makes this coin stand out. So, grab that penny, and let's dive in to find out if yours could be worth a lot more than you think. Rarest coins. Cut to a table with several 1967 Lincoln pennies spread out, with a zoom in on one specific coin. The 1967 Lincoln penny was minted during a time of transition for U.S. coinage. By 1967, the United States had already stopped using silver in its circulating coins, and the 1967 Lincoln penny, like all other pennies of the era, was made of a copper composition, more specifically, 95% copper and 5% zinc. The coin was struck with the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse, which had been in circulation since 1959, and features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On screen, show close-ups of the 1967 Lincoln penny's obverse, Lincoln's portrait, and reverse, Lincoln Memorial. While millions of 1967 pennies were minted at over $4.7 billion at the Philadelphia Mint and another $1.5 billion at the Denver Mint, it's not just about the sheer number of coins made. What makes some of these pennies valuable is their rarity in excellent condition, as well as potential errors that happen during the minting process. Rarest coins. Cut to a shot of several 1967 Lincoln pennies placed side by side, comparing worn and pristine examples. Now, let's take a look at why some 1967 Lincoln pennies are worth more than just 1 cent. There are two major factors to consider here: condition and rarity. While many pennies from the 1960s are commonly found in circulation and are only worth face value, a high-quality 1967 penny in uncirculated condition can fetch a premium. 1. Condition. Cut to a comparison of a worn 1967 penny next to a bright, uncirculated example. As with any coin, condition is everything. If your 1967 penny is in excellent condition, with no significant wear or damage, it will be worth more than a heavily circulated coin. A 1967 penny in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth anywhere from $1 to $5. Depending on the grade. Coins graded MS-65 or higher can go for even more, especially if they're well preserved and show no signs of handling or corrosion. On screen, show a coin grading scale, with MS-65, MS-66, and MS-70 highlighted as high grades. Rarest coins. To get an idea of the coin's condition, coins are graded using a scale from 1 to 70. With coins in MS-60 to MS-65 being considered a mint state and coins with a grade of MS-70 being in perfect, flawless condition. A 1967 penny that is graded in these higher ranges is far more valuable than one that is worn down from years of circulation. 2. Rarity of high-grade coins. Cut to a graphic showing a comparison of high-grade versus low-grade coins. Despite the fact that millions of 1967 pennies were made, finding them in high-grade, uncirculated condition is much rarer than you might think. High-grade examples are harder to come by, which makes them more desirable to collectors. The rarity of well-preserved 1967 pennies is what drives their value up. Rarest coins. Cut to a close-up of a 1967 Lincoln penny with a noticeable error under a magnifying glass. Now let's get to the exciting part: minting errors. Minting errors are one of the key reasons why certain 1967 pennies are worth significantly more than their face value. Errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin production process, and some of these errors can make your 1967 penny a highly sought-after collectible. Let's look at some of the most valuable errors and varieties to look for. 1. Double die errors. Zoom in on the lettering on the obverse of a 1967 penny, showing clear doubling on the word "A Liberty" or the date. One of the most valuable errors to look for is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing part of the design to be doubled. With the 1967 Lincoln penny, look for doubling on the word "A Liberty," "A in God Be Trust," or even the date. If you spot signify. Hey, coin collectors and curious viewers. Rarest coins. Do you have a 1971 Lincoln penny tucked away in your collection or sitting in your spare change jar? Well, that humble penny might be worth a lot more than you think. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the 1971 Lincoln penny, exploring why this coin is highly sought after, what makes certain 1971 pennies so valuable, and how you can spot one that could be worth a small fortune. Let's get started. Cut to a table with several 1971 Lincoln pennies displayed, with one in particular being held up for closer inspection. The 1971 Lincoln penny is part of the classic Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 until 2008. It was minted as the height of the U.S. coinage's transition from silver to copper-based coins. This penny, like its predecessors, features President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. See design by Frank Gasparo. On screen, show a close-up of the 1971 Lincoln pennies obverse and reverse. 1971 was also a transitional year for U.S. coinage. It was the first year that pennies were minted in large quantities without any significant changes to the design. However, while the 1971 Lincoln penny wasn't a major milestone in terms of its design, it did become notable for a few key reasons. Despite the billions of these coins produced, certain 1971 pennies are extremely valuable, especially when they come with rare errors or are in outstanding condition. Rarest coins. Cut to a shot comparing several 1971 pennies, with one in high-grade condition next to a heavily worn coin. Now, let's talk about what makes some 1971 Lincoln pennies worth more than their face value of just 1 cent. While millions of 1971 pennies were made, the key to finding a valuable one is knowing what to look for. Like any coin, condition and rarity are important factors in determining a penny's value. 1. Condition matters. Show a comparison of a worn 1971 penny and a pristine, uncirculated example. Rarest coins. The first factor to consider when evaluating a coin's value is its condition. Most 1971 pennies you come across will likely be in poor condition, as they've been circulating for decades. However, a coin in uncirculated or mint-state condition is a lot rarer. If you have a 1971 penny that's free from heavy scratches, dents, and discoloration, and looks nearly as good as the day it was struck, it could be worth more than just 1 cent. On screen, show a coin grading scale, highlighting MS60, MS65, and MS70. Coins are graded based on a scale from 1 to 70, with coins rated MS60 or higher considered mint state. A well-preserved, mint state 1971 penny could be worth anywhere from $1 to $5, depending on its grade and demand. If the coin is graded MS65 or higher, it could be worth even more, sometimes pushing into the $10 range, or even higher for exceptional examples. 2. Rarity of high-grade coins. Cut to a visual of a 1971 penny in mint state under magnification. It's important to remember that high-grade 1971 pennies are rare. Many of the coins that were minted in 1971 are heavily circulated, meaning finding one in exceptional condition can be a real treasure. The better the condition, the more valuable the penny, and high-grade 1971 pennies are not easy to come by. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for well-preserved examples, which is what drives the value up. Cut to a close-up of a 1971 Lincoln penny with an error under a magnifying glass. Rarest coins. Now, let's get into one of the most exciting parts of coin collecting: minting errors. While most 1971 Lincoln pennies are standard, there are some key errors that can make them highly valuable. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that has imperfections that can actually increase its worth. If you find one of those errors in your 1971 pennies, you could have a valuable coin on your hands. 1. Double die errors. Show a close-up of a 1971 penny with noticeable doubling in the date or lettering. One of the most famous errors in coin collecting is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, resulting in doubled images or letters. For the 1971 Lincoln penny, a double die error might be most noticeable in the "Hey, coin enthusiasts and curious collectors. Rarest coins." Do you have a 1972 Lincoln penny sitting in your collection? Or perhaps buried in your change jar? What if I told you that penny could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent? In today's video, we're going to dive into everything you need to know about the 1972 Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, the rare varieties and minting errors to look out for, and how to determine if yours might be worth a small fortune. Let's explore why this classic coin is one that collectors go crazy for. Cut to a table with several 1972 Lincoln pennies laid out, with the focus on one particular coin. Rarest coins. The 1972 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series, which graced U.S. coinage from 1959 until 2008. It features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparro. 1972 is a significant year in U.S. coinage history for a few key reasons, especially when it comes to the mintage and the errors that occurred during the production process. On screen, show a close-up of the 1972 Lincoln pennies obverse and reverse. 1972 was a transitional year in U.S. coinage, as the U.S. was moving away from silver and using copper and zinc to create coins. While the design didn't change, the minting process was in full swing, producing billions of these pennies. And while they may have seemed like everyday coins back then, some of these 1972 Lincoln pennies could now be worth a lot more than just their face value. Let's take a look at what makes certain 1972 pennies so special. Rarest coins. Cut to a comparison shot of a worn 1972 penny and a pristine, uncirculated one. So, what exactly makes the 1972 Lincoln penny worth more than just 1 cent? Well, the value of any coin primarily depends on two things: condition and rarity. And when it comes to the 1972 penny, certain factors can make it a valuable addition to a collection. 1. Condition. Cut to a comparison shot of a 1972 penny in good condition versus a heavily worn one. The first thing to consider when determining the value of a 1972 Lincoln penny is its condition. Most of the pennies that were minted in 1972 have been in circulation for over 50 years, meaning they're often in pretty poor shape. However, a penny that's still in mint state condition free from significant wear and tear could be worth much more. A high-grade 1972 penny can easily fetch more than 1 cent, with uncirculated examples ranging from $1 to $5, depending on their grade. On screen, show a coin grading scale, from low to high grades, MS60 to MS70. Coins are graded using a scale from 1 to 70. With the higher grade indicating better condition. A 1972 penny that's rated MS65, mint state 65, or higher could be worth $5 to $15. If you have one that reaches a perfect MS70, it could be worth a lot more. High-grade coins are much rarer than you might think, which drives up the value. 2. Rarity of high-grade coins. Cut to a shot of a pristine 1972 penny under magnification, highlighting the lack of wear on the coin. It's not just about the grade, it's also about how rare it is to find a 1972 penny in exceptional condition. Even though billions of 1972 pennies were made, finding them in near-perfect or uncirculated condition is uncommon. This scarcity makes them more valuable to collectors who are after coins with minimal wear. So, if your 1972 penny looks like it was minted yesterday, you may be holding a valuable coin. Cut to a close-up of a 1972 Lincoln penny with a noticeable error under a magnifying glass. Now, let's talk about something that excites coin collectors: minting errors. Sometimes, during the coin production process, something goes wrong, leading to a mistake that results in a coin with imperfections. These errors can actually make a coin more valuable, and the 1972 Lincoln penny is no exception. So, what kind of errors should you look for in your 1972 penny? 1. Double die errors. Zoom in on the lettering of the word liberty or the date, showing clear doubling. The double die error is one of the most popular and valuable minting mistakes you can find. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the die, resulting in doubled images or letters. Hello, fellow coin collectors. Rarest coins. Do you have a 1998 Lincoln penny sitting around in your collection, or perhaps buried deep in your change jar? What if I told you that this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent? In this video, we'll be exploring the 1998 Lincoln penny, what makes it special, and most importantly how you can identify valuable varieties and minting errors that could make your penny worth a lot of money. Stick around to find out if you're holding onto a hidden treasure. Cut to a shot of several 1998 Lincoln pennies laid out on a table with one penny highlighted and magnified. The 1998 Lincoln penny, part of the ongoing Lincoln Memorial series, was minted during a time when coinage in the United States was largely composed of copper-plated zinc. This penny features the classic design of President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparro. On screen, show a close-up of the 1998 penny's obverse and reverse rarest coins. While the design of the 1998 penny wasn't groundbreaking or revolutionary, it still holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. With billions of these coins struck by the U.S. Mint, most people assume they're not worth much. However, there are some key factors that can make a 1998 Lincoln penny much more valuable than you might expect. Cut to a side-by-side comparison of a worn 1998 penny and a high-grade, uncirculated example. So, what makes certain 1998 Lincoln pennies worth more than their face value of 1 cent? Well, as with any coin, the condition and rarity of the coin play a significant role in determining its value. 1. Condition matters. Zoom in on the obverse and reverse of a well-preserved 1998 penny. Rarest coins. The first factor is the condition of the penny. As with most coins, a well-preserved or uncirculated coin is far more valuable than one that's been heavily worn through years of circulation. A 1998 penny in mint state condition can be worth $1 to $5. Depending on its grade. The better the coin's condition, the higher its value. On screen, show a coin grading scale, highlighting MS60, MS65, and MS70 grades. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The highest grade, MS70, represents a perfect coin with no flaws. Most 1998 pennies in circulation will likely fall somewhere in the good to very fine range, but finding an MS65 or higher could increase its value to $5 to $10 or more. 2. Rarity of high-grade coins. Cut to the narrator inspecting a high-grade 1998 penny with the magnifying glass. Rarest coins. The rarity of high-grade 1998 pennies is what makes them valuable. Even though billions of these coins were minted, high-grade examples are much harder to come by. This is because coins that have been circulating for over 2 decades show signs of wear and damage, including scratches, dings, and discoloration. If you happen to have a 1998 penny that's free of these defects, you've got a rare find. Cut to a close-up of a 1998 penny with the visible minting error under a magnifying glass. But what if you have a 1998 penny that's more than just well-preserved? What if it has a minting error that makes it highly valuable? Minting errors are a collector's dream. Imperfect coins that are actually worth far more than their face value. And there are several key minting errors to watch out for on 1998 Lincoln pennies. 1. Double die errors. Rarest coins. Zoom in on the word Liberty and the date of a 1998 penny, highlighting clear doubling of the letters or numbers. One of the most sought-after minting errors is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear doubled in certain areas. For a 1998 Lincoln penny, the most common places to see doubling are the date and the word Liberty on the obverse. If you spot a 1998 penny with noticeable doubling, especially in the letters or numbers, it could be worth $20 to $500 or more, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. 2. Off-center strikes. Show a 1998 penny with an off-center strike, where part of the design is missing. Another error to look out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not properly,